Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I am preparing and doing a full moon reading for you in the sign of Pisces. It's a lunar eclipse happening on I believe it's the 18th of September 2024. So we are dealing with Piscean energy. This can be lucid, right? There could be a lot of lucid dreaming, vivid dreams going on. Channels are more open. It can be a full moon of like a lot of channel is open. Stirring at night. Maybe you have inconsistent sleep. Of course, I'm going to take my deck here, Priestess of the Light deck, with the full moon. We're going to take that one. Of course, we're doing that. Vivid dreams, a lot of incoming, or this like, things popping up while you're supposed to sleep, right? Feminine water energy, Piscean energy, very intuitive, very psychic, an emotional feminine realm, very beautiful realm also, but the psychic realm can be, we could have something occult here as well. I get deep emotions here showing up. As a flyer, deep emotions, a deep loyalty, perhaps a deep attachment. It says here unknown feelings, past life influence. There could be a strangeness about something, but still I get like a strangeness, but still a longing. It's like you cannot not go there. With your thoughts or emotions or your dwelling, you cannot not go there, right? It's like you have to remember, right? If this is past life influence, some very deep emotions attached to this, maybe a devotion, a loyalty to something. Full moons are usually considered the opportunity to complete something, to like, this is the end of this road, right? I am completing this cycle to start something new, or I'm the end of an education, the end of a relationship, because you have to pursue something else. There is a recognition, perhaps. It could be a very spiritual one, an intuitively guided temple path, guided thing. Maybe you want to pursue Buddhism or something. Like the fulfillment is kind of the wrapping up where you're saying, I'm finished with some cycle to now do something else. It could be, when grown children move out of the home, it's not that you stop being a mother or father, right? But the close connection of everyday life and everyday, you could say, enmeshment in each other's life, in the family, it's stopping, right? It's coming to a halt, or it becomes different. The role of mother and father is now maybe different, or it's not as close, it's not every day. It is now these young people are pursuing their own life, and they will make mistakes, and they will make, they will turn their own life upside down. They will maybe make, decisions that you don't agree with, right? It could be the other way around. Because you are this grown, your parents now start to do differently. They behave differently. They are not at home as much as they used to be. Something that you have relied on may need a change. You know, it could be a behavioral style, a way of thinking, life choices. The Piscean energy, I feel like it's lucid. Piscean energy is also sometimes regarded as the big unknown, because you can't grasp it, like you can't hold on to it. It's not a it's not a physical thing. It never really materializes. It's something in the air, right? It's like it's a thought form. It's a feeling. It could be like well, Pisces energy is known to be very psychic, clairvoyant, clairaudient, claircognizant. All these clairs are associated with Pisces. It's like Pisces is always connected with something which many other people don't see or recognize. They see through a veil, and they can see worlds that other people can't see, right? It's like there is another world. Let's just say that there is another world, another seeing through the veil can talk about the ability to see through timelines, past life recognition, that during this full moon there could be lucid dreaming, remembrance of past lives, knowledge from past lives perhaps, that you can draw into this current life awareness. Pisces, I think Piscean people, to them alternative life is normal. Like, that is not something special. They deal with it every day. It's part of their life that they have this door open and can see and know and smell and intuit something which many other people cannot do. Like, they just have this access. They can see through manipulations. They recognize it. They beforehand. And they can leave the party where many people are still staying because they can't see it. They don't feel it. They cannot smell it or intuit it. It's not visible to them. This full moon can make something visible to us, or it's inviting us to engage with it, right? It's Piscean energy is everything that is not normal reality. It's everything you could, in this place, it's very feminine. The feminine realm involves entities and angels and ghosts and past life and connection with deceased loved ones. It's the shaman. It's the one that talks with the elders, right? The deceased elders. They have an advantage in that particular spot because they are advised. Pisces has an advisor available always, that tells them, that guides them. This is very special for Pisces energy. This is my interpretation. I'm channeling right now because it's very fast for me. So I'm just channeling something here. This is, I am not a Piscean, so please correct me if I'm wrong here. But this is what I get. It's like Pisces has an advisor always with them. And the door is open. They, like, the guidance that comes from this advisor that is always on the other side. This is always with love. This advisor can, alarm the Pisces, right? It can alarm Piscean people. But here, during this full moon, we will all have access to this. We will all have access to this unknown doorway, this pathway that is whispers. It's lucid dreams, organic shifting pictures. It is in our mind space. It is because the feminine realm is not, from a masculine perspective, the feminine is very messy. It's not, as I said, in beautiful lined form. That there's no continuous, like straight line and continuancy about feminine energy. It shifts and molds and it's everywhere. It goes in all direction. It guides you in. It's a whisper. It's a slight touch on your hand. It's a chill you feel, right? And that's why we can't grasp onto it. It's lucid. It's in the air. It's a smell. It's a feeling, right? You can't explain it. It's just something you know, right? You just know this is bad, or you know this is the right thing to do, even though everybody else around you tells you it's wrong, or it's the wrong way to go, or it's the wrong way to invest. This full moon is it's inviting us in. It's inviting us in to see a bit of its realm. Pisces people are very good. You can talk to, if you know a Pisces, they can tell you about this realm because it's always available to them. To them, this is like second nature. It's nothing special. They can see, hear, know things. But for other people who are not in that realm, this could be quite scary, because what it does is that it's challenging the straight line thinking, the planning, the structuring that is in the masculine realm. And our world is organized around patriarchal ground principles. So when you deal with feminine energy like this, it's weird. You can't really, there's no proof of it. Like, it's an intuition. It's an intuitive or an epiphany. It's the feeling that you can't really, it's transparent, right? It's not really in form. You can look right through it. It's there, but it's not there. It's lucid. It's a moment. Feminine energy is very much also about a moment. Very much about connection, a momentary connection. Oh, I get exhausted. A momentary connection that is very vital. It's the aha moment. It's the now I see, right? Or it's the playing with the dark. Tasting the dark. Just have a little taste of my world, right? Have a little taste of my world. I have so much to offer if you can open this door to me, right? I have so much, there's so much information in here. There's so much knowledge, so much wisdom, things that the civilized world doesn't trust. That's why healers and witches and it's like this community that is somewhat recognized but still under control, right? Only recognized for the beneficial things. But this is not how feminine energy works. In feminine energy, you will always have a shifting back and forth. We can see it in the seasons of our earth. There is life and there's death. It's a constant moving energy. If there's one thing we know about Earth, is that we have to be ready for change, because change is coming, whether we want it or not. Life is not constant. It's not a constant moving, forward moving, which masculine energy likes. It likes the plan and structure. It likes that it knows where it is on its path towards some kind of goal. I start here, I end here. Feminine energy doesn't work like that. Like, feminine energy doesn't have a plan like that. It doesn't operate in that linear fashion towards, I start here, and when I do this and this and this and this, then I have built this kitchen, or then I have established this. If I follow this procedure, then my fire camp will be on fire, right? But I have to do it in this way. I have to put the wood in this position and so on. Then I will have a fire. And if I'm not doing it in this correct way, then I will not have the fire. This is not how feminine energy works. It shifts and molds, and that's how a baby is created. It doesn't. It's not a linear plan. We may, from a like observational perspective, we will maybe look at it like that. That first there is a fetus, and then there is and then. But inside the woman, so much is going on. So many hormones are shifting and molding so that it fits the exact process. That's what this is. Molding and shifting to fit the exact process. If you are invited and you let yourself be invited into feminine realm, you need to let yourself be molded and shifted to actually feel comfortable there. Otherwise, you will probably do like this. No, this is dangerous, right? Or this is bad in some way. You will never understand this place if you're not allowing yourself to. She has to show herself to you and feel okay, that it will be okay for you to engage with this full moon. That you will not run away, right? That you are not scared of her. It's like feminine energy is scary, mysterious, occult. It's when we can't see it, we don't trust it. Is it good or is it bad? What is it, right? What am I dealing with exactly if I go down a path like this, or if I let myself invite in? If I try to analyze my lucid dreaming, what am I supposed to find here? Are there any clues? Is it a key? Is it a guideline for something? Is it a whisper that tries to tell me where to go? An advice, right? Can I trust this advice? Yeah, that's kind of what I feel like. Pisces is the elderly. It is the oldest zodiac sign. It is the one that has seen everything else. They have seen everything else, and they look right through it. They don't have to engage. They don't have to look at it. They don't have to be part of it if they don't want to. They don't feel obliged. They don't care about the status if it's not worth it for them. Right? They have seen the picture on the wall already. Like they may know beforehand. Again, we have sages here. We have people who can do prophecy, right? They are here. This is the round of the sage, of the shaman that looks in the future, right? And goes to the underworld, deals with death and transformation and rebirth. This is this realm. you can feel that something is like pulling at you at this point in time, right? Many people find that full moons can be, you wake up at night, you can't sleep probably. And I want to say this one could be quite big in that area. It's a lunar eclipse also. Eclipses has this effect of like cutting something. It's like you cut a tie to maybe a past life, or you invite something in from a past life to cut something from your current life because it's not working for you, it doesn't help you, you're not happy, and so on. That is, it's like the channel or the veil is very, very thin here. You can have access to something that potentially could help you in, at least if you feel like you have been in the scapegoated area for most of your life, a people pleaser, a scapegoated area. From a psychological standpoint, this is cognitive dissociation. You are not aligned cognitively with who you are. So there could be an advisor here standing on the other side of the veil that is trying to advise you at this point in time. I would say listen, right? Listen. Just listen to it, right? Listen to what it's telling you, and it can, one of the, and I have been personally, I've been struggling with this one for myself personally, right? And I'm not saying that this is a guide. I feel this is a feminine guide with Piscean energy, a feminine guide here. It could be a mother type. It could be a sister. It could be someone you know. It could be a deceased mother, a deceased aunt. It could just be motherly energy. It could be a guide. And there could be dark feminines here as well. Dark feminines are not bad. They are helping you to cut things from your life that are not beneficial, right? Personally, I have been dealing with energies like Hecate, if you know who she is. She very much deals with the underworld. She is probably somewhere in between light and dark. She definitely deals with yin and yang energy, and she is also sometimes considered a very evil goddess. But she's also the protector of outcasts. And I feel like, for me personally, she's the one who speaks to me at this time. For you, it could be something else. Okay, so let's have a look at the cards, right? I feel like I have and it's interesting because this energy is here in Virgo season, right? It's a full moon. The opposite full moon is always present in a particular sign. So we have a new moon in Virgo, then we have a full moon in Pisces, which is the exact opposite of the Virgo. Virgo is about cleanliness and purity, and it's considered a masculine, analytical sign. The hermit is here looking for answers, trying to establish a knowledge, perhaps. That could be intuitive knowledge coming in that you want to write down. That would be the Virgo energy. You wanna make sure you get this right. You want to take notes on something. You want to have a dream or a dream journal beside your bed, and you want to write down as soon as you wake up what you got. That would be the Virgo that is trying to capture the knowledge from the thin veil available, right? So this is interesting. Maybe you feel like you have like that there's an opposition to what you hear from this place, a fear perhaps about this place. Because Virgo wants to be very pure and right all the time and do the right thing and do the proper thing, the virtuous thing, the good thing, the thing that is recognized as good and pure and righteous, right? And then you have this sign that is molding and shifting between light and dark. It never really stays the same. Where Virgo would probably try to stay the same in the pure line, in the good line, where this energy molds and shifts between everything. I don't fear this, right? I don't think you should fear this. There could be a lot of advice from this side. Virgo can be an inner critic also, and sometimes a really harsh one. And for someone to come in here and tell you to loosen up on this could be a help, right? It could actually be a helpful advice, because it determines and puts it limits your life, right? That could be what you may feel. That could create a lot of unhappiness in you. And maybe there's someone on the other side here that says you need to loosen up on this. Maybe you need to cut some of this inner critic or judge or something to have a more fulfilled life. But that means that you have to overcome a fear, perhaps. And this advisor could be here to help you with this fear, right? Okay, so I think you get my point now of how important I think this lunar eclipse can be, right? It's quite powerful, I think. And there's too little knowledge about the feminine realm. Personally, my upbringing never opened a door to this realm. So I am kind of trying to open some of it now. I want to trust this more, and probably trust some of my own abilities here more as well. But if you have lived and have been brought up like I did, in a very structured home with little room for exploration of different, you could say, let's just say religions or other realms of beliefs or understanding, if that was not possible, it definitely was not for me, then this could feel very fearful. I have been on my journey for quite a while now, so I'm not that scared anymore, right? But I was in the beginning. So when this comes in and as a full moon, it wants to wrap something up. Maybe it wants to wrap up fear, right? It's working with you, perhaps in certain areas where you are reluctant to go there, or you don't want to recognize this about yourself. Maybe you have Pisces in a very particular placement. Maybe you have a Pisces moon. Then this would be a very, very powerful eclipse experience. Maybe you have, let's say you have Jupiter in Pisces, right? Then I would say Jupiter is like is considered the work field. It's considered where you can magnify who you are. You can have success here, but maybe you need to embrace this about yourself then, right? Okay. Let's just have a look at the cards here. Loss and lack. This could definitely be something that comes up during this full moon, because I feel like many light workers, they work through this feeling when they are opening up their channels. They are psychic channels, because many witches, the witch hunt, the many light workers, or people that work with energy healers and so on, when they open up their energy, many of them, they go through this. There is a reason why it has been closed off. The reason why it has been closed off is that in other lifetimes, and we had the deep emotion card coming up with unknown feelings and past life influence, there could be a feeling here that dealing with such energies like the underworld, and it sounds very demonic, right? It's not really necessarily about that. But again, it depends on your view on some of this, right? It's like if you have lived the life of the underdog, and you have tried to hide yourself or be invisible or a scapegoat, or you have done like me, annihilated something, a part of yourself because of this. There's too much pain associated with whatever this is. There's too much pain, right? There's loss here and lack. There's a lot of fear and victimization that one could feel during this time, right? That something potentially wants to guide you if you feel loss and lack and pain and regret and grief and an enormous amount of fear and victimization. That because becoming who you really are, becoming the full version of you, comes with danger, perhaps, right? That there's it's dangerous to deal with this. It's dangerous to even just think about it. It's dangerous to. I feared the darkness at night or as a child. I feared looking from my room through the window into the dark night. I feared that enormously. I needed the curtains, right? I don't get. Sometimes we see films, right, where people they sleep with where the curtains are pulled aside and with the window open. Like for me, this has been a total no-go, like most of my life, right? That has been a total no-go. Always closed window, always curtains drawn to cover the window, right? I don't know how it exactly has been, whether this is actually something I could remember as a child, that there's a past life karma with me. I don't know. People say that when children are born, they are like these blank canvases. But what if they are not? What if karma manifests in their life? Karma from different lifetimes, right? Which I feel has been very much present in my life. Not knowing exactly why. I can't track it in my own life. Like in my own life back, well, I didn't have the best parents, perhaps, right? But I was not thrown out of home. I did not knowingly. I have, like, some of the karma I have been dealing with was not mine. It was ancestral karma. It was my parents, grandparents, something like that. It was ancestral karma, not mine. I can't track it in my own life. I don't have any memory of it. I have a brother. I've talked about some of this with him. He has no memory of something like that. For instance, a burning house. Where people get burned. People are in the house burning to death, right? This is something that has been following me for several years now. But I have never been in a burning house. There has never been a burning house. We have never, my brother and my family, there has never been a burning house. So this has to come from somewhere else, right? It must be before me, or inherited karma or something like that. And this is actually something that physicists have proved. Teal Swan has recently made a video about this actually, that it can be passed down in generation. And for some reason, maybe I'm the one who is supposed to do something about this. I don't know if I can pull it off, but we'll see about that, right? But it will not be unusual if you at this point in time feel something, if you are on a spiritual journey, or if you are trying to, cut ties to the past, or awaken new things in you, you can feel this. This is not unusual, especially for light workers. They because many of them in different lifetimes have been prosecuted, hunted down. If they truly reveal who they are, they will be hunted down, prosecuted, hanged, burnt, drowned, and so on. Right? That was done to many women. And maybe that's why I have feminine energy here, right? That the feminine energy is hiding to a certain point because of this phenomenon. Because this hunting, this because they are initially considered bad, right? That if a woman becomes full-fleshed herself, she will be very powerful, first of all, but also potentially she will be as powerful as the men. And the patriarchal society doesn't want that, right? They want to be in control of what's happening. I believe personally that many people don't know their feminine side. At least I didn't. They don't know it fully. They don't know the capacity and the power of it. They don't know the dark feminine. They don't know about resurrection. They don't know their full potential. How powerful they actually are. I said this before in another, the last new moon reading in Virgo I did, was that I talked briefly about that, like me, I have been raised in a Western society governed by patriarchal ground principles. The Bible, the church, things like that are still in the mix of how to understand society, what kind of virtues are favored or prioritized or viewed as good. And if you as a woman are raised in a patriarchal society, this is the only thing you learn. You never learn the other school. Like, you never get to understand the other side of you. So that in itself creates an internal dissonance, right? You have a brain that thinks like a man and prioritizes like a man, and then you have a feminine body, right? These two things are in itself dissociated. So I believe that many women they are not in touch with their feminine side. We say that many men are not, but many women are also not in touch with their feminine side. It would be regarded messy. out of order, too much, too rigid, bad. It's considered that if you see it from a patriarchal viewpoint. It's regarded as evil and bad and destructive and things like that. And that's why there's a lot of prejudice in our mind, or a critic in our mind, that potentially will not allow you to engage with this. It takes an enormous amount of bravery, I think, to let that go, or to accept that there's more to this life. And if you want to go that route, if you want to go there, you have to calm your mind down. You have to tell yourself, well, if you feel the urge to go there, if you feel these deep emotional recognitions, deep intuitive flashbacks, there must be something to it, right? There must be something to something. There must be something to why I abandoned it. Why did I abandon something? And the funny thing is that the thing that we may have abandoned is usually the thing we look for in another partner. So when they have it, it's all right, as long as you don't have it. Because then you would need to deal with this, which is very painful. Okay, so Angel of Love from the root position here, deep down, these are the deep emotions that come up, right? Deep emotions of recognition, deep emotions of love here. So so maybe the loss and lack you feel here, the pain, the things that you may feel you need to go through during this full moon can be very emotional, actually. And maybe you can't track it. As I said, you can't track it in your own life. Why do I feel so emotional? Why do I feel so sad? Why do I feel so... Maybe you grieve something here, and you don't know why you're grieving it, because it's not yours personally. It's yours in the sense that there's nothing on this earth that biologically is not related. We share 50%, around 50% DNA with trees. We share 50% or 60% with certain other vegetational plants. We share around 65-70% with slugs. We share 85% with dogs and lions, something around that. So it means that from a feminine point of view, we are all related. Not just what you call your immediate family. No, we are all life on earth is related. Maybe, 50% is a little DNA. It's not that much DNA. Something you share maybe only 2% with something else. But it still means that there's part of you, your current existence has only been possible due to historical or ancestral life. And the merging and mixing of species along millions, thousands of years of evolution, billions of years of evolution, right? This is the reason why Homo sapiens actually exist, that our species is even here. It's due to these past events that you today stand exactly as you are, with pros and cons, fears and delights. you know, instinctual fears, instinctual primal raw feelings are due to a former or a previous evolutionary state. So whatever you may feel here is not just because you are this human in this life. There is a storyline, a long one of evolution. Some of the fears you have here could come from the fact that you are, let's say, you have DNA to the deer family more than you have DNA related to the predator family. It means that we have victimization here as well, prey orientation, that maybe you are realizing I have more of a prey origin than I have of a predator origin. And this means that I can feel less, right? I am scared to show up in the world. I'm scared to initiate things. I'm scared to be the full me because I can lose my life. I have seen my family being killed in other lifetimes. You know, there is a recognition and memory, something there that is guiding you. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to throw yourself into the mist, into the spotlight? Is it worth it? Or is there something else that is way more beneficial for you? Is there something else that, is it worth to deal with the loss? Is it worth to confront it? Or what is actually a loving, kind gesture towards myself and others, perhaps? What would be the right thing to do? If I want, this can be self-love also. What is a self-loving thing to do about this? Is it self-loving to deal with my fears and victimization? Would it benefit me to overcome this? Because if it would benefit you, then maybe it's worth the time to cry or to go through these emotional realm, deep emotions. Maybe you need to forgive yourself, forgive others, right? Because it's not worth it to hold on to the grief or to hold on to these. Personally, I've been dealing with a very big grief. And grief is potentially low vibrational enough to hold back light. Like it's if you put grief on yourself, you will lower your ambition, you will lower your entire understanding about yourself. It is a big enough or a low enough energy to cover up, for instance, laughter and happiness. If you are grieving, if you are a grieving widow, you cannot necessarily at the same time laugh out loud and be free and happy and joyous. You see my point? So whatever loss and lack you may have put upon yourself to cover for something else, this is worth investing. Have I put something on me? Was that necessary as a child to put something on me to cover up or to cut off my like when you are grieving, you cannot all at the same time feel free and joyous and happy. So if I put grief on myself, I cut off the happiness. I cut off my access, my normal flow of access to being free and happy is not possible if I'm grieving. Because if being happy and free and joyous and expressive was actually something that could put you in danger, if that was a very unwanted state for you to, if that was bad, then it would make sense that putting such a big grief upon myself would help me, because I would become more unexpressive. I would become more invisible. I would become more, maybe dealing with the family grief or something. I was compassionate with the family grief, perhaps, and therefore I wasn't a bad girl, I wasn't the bad free one. Grief imprisons you. It keeps you attached to something, where in the free state you are unattached. So if you are in a grieving state, or you feel shame or guilt or something, it's because you are attached to something that is either not there, or it keeps criticizing you. It has some kind of demand over you. It keeps you in check. So if the grief or if the shame is big enough, if the guilt is big enough, if the fear is big enough, if the danger is big enough, then you stay there. Then this is by your side as it's an ego thing. It's something you put upon you as an ego protective mechanism, but actually it makes you, in the case I just talked about, it makes you very unhappy and not free, right? A child, it's difficult for a child because a child needs their parents. So we need to attach, we need to bond with our parents initially to actually debond and detach. When we become teenagers, we try to form our own opinion, our own identity, our own approach to life and what we want to do in life. So you see, if you never get past this state, you are still tied up. And this full moon could show you some of this, right? It could show you where you may be tied up. Deep emotions could come forward, and there could be some very fears here about the prey feeling that comes up in you as a protective mechanism. I cannot do this, I'm not powerful enough, I probably just need to stay where I am, I cannot, and there is deep feelings here from deep down that really wants to love you, right? That says prioritize your own self-love, right? Look at your own heart here. Look at your heart. How do you feel about yourself, right? Make this a priority, right? That could also be what the full moon is about, that maybe the pursuit of pleasing others, or the pursuit of, wanting to make the world a better place. Maybe you realize, it's not in my favor to do that. I'm not equipped to do that. At least not yet, because I have this, right? I have this. So for now, maybe the right thing is to concentrate on myself and heal. Become true to my values and so on, right? It's an angel of love that comes from deep within. It's a very caring, very kind, considerate and understanding voice, right? That wants to help you with this. And we have completion here. This is in the mind space, the crown area. This is root chakra. This is crown area. Within, maybe in your solar plexus, you still feel a bit of solved problem here, perhaps. But there is a completion possibility completed. It's like your voice or the incoming guidance is to let it go, complete it, concentrate on your own self-healing, let it go, the potential of what you could lose here. This is another thing that masculinity really has a hard time dealing with. Death. Like death is the letting go of something. Death is not like the masculine part of us doesn't want to deal with death. Death is like giving up. The letting go could be I can't even exude a revenge. I can't, like, at least I need revenge. At least I need to make a statement. At least I need to. Actually, I feel this is more like, no, I don't even want to give them that benefit of, I don't want to deal with their conquering side. I don't want to mess, because then I just participate in the game, right? I participate if then I am the prey and they are the predator, and giving them this time of day, just I play into their game. What is the self-loving thing to do here? Especially if you do feel lack and victimization or prey orientation, you're not ready, right? This has to go. Like this feeling of being the prey has to go. The prey, the loss and the lack, the potential danger on your body, on your life has to go. You have, there's an invitation to become brave beyond death here. The fear, the loss and lack has to do with your life. It has to do with your body responses. It's your body that reacts to the potential danger of death. The feminine realm, though deals with death all the time. I've tried to please have a look at the previous new moon reading. I did a video a while back. It's something like, and at that time I wasn't quite sure exactly what it was that was the opening for me, what it was that I could see. But I said something, it has a title something like, we weren't even given a choice. We were not given a choice, right? This choice I'm talking about in that video has to do with this feminine realm. As I said, when I grew up, school was in one way. There were not two schools. There were not two schools. There was only one. And it means that I participated in an upbringing that was supposed to make me ready for this school. I went through the school system, jobs, marriage, everything that the patriarchal structure kind of outlines as the way to happiness. But it doesn't allow for the other door. It doesn't allow for a feminine school. What if there was a feminine school based on feminine principles? This would be an entire new way of thinking. This would be an opposite to the masculine realm. But do you get the dissociation here? Do you get what you have lost? In the feminine realm, there is no such thing as fear of death. Death and rebirth and transformation is normal. It's normal. we see it all. We see it in the seasons here on Earth, but we see it also in, let's say, the changing of fashion. Like when the changing of fashion comes, the fashionistas, they have no problem leaving the old style behind, or the old haircut, or the old sunglasses style, or the old, let's say, there's a new fashion brand, or there's a new makeup style. They have no problem leaving the old, unfashionable style behind. They jump right into the new one. New hairstyle, new haircut, new hair color, new makeup style, new shoes, new fashion, new clothes. They have no problems. Actually, this is what if they have a beauty website or they have a fashion website, this is what they live off. They live off this change. They live off the ever-changing seasons. They live off the ever-changing fashion. Then they would be more in tune, I would say, with feminine energy than many other women are that pursue lifelong job and marriage and children and everything, and maybe are unhappy along. If you're not unhappy, then it's fine. If you do feel unhappy, it's because there's something wrong here. There's a dissonance. It's what you gave up. You gave up something here. If this reading is for you, and you are feminine and you've been scapegoated, felt like an outsider, an outcast, and things like that, this reading is for you. You gave something up. You gave up your wildness. Your wild feminine energy was given up along the way, like I did. Right? This is the loss, and there could be a deep-seated feeling of regret and guilt and sadness that could come up with this. So personally, I feel my spiritual awakening is leading me down a route of making some of this knowledge present or available to women or females. You can be a man feeling more feminine, right? I want to say that we were never, like, if you resonate with this, we were never given a choice. There is no secondary school. I have talked so much in the Aries readings that I've done, like it's like there is someone missing at the table, like a teacher or something missing at the table. It's like there is supposed to be, like there is an empty seat that is not filled. Like something is missing, right? And if you feel like me, or you can recognize some of this in you, you have probably the same feeling. It's like there's something missing that you were never given. This, you were never taught this. You were never allowed to think like this. You were never allowed to dive into it, right? It's like there is a school missing. A school, a feminine school. We know the yin and yang symbol, right? The white or the bright side is considered the masculine, the dark side considered the feminine. But the dark side, there is this, at least this is what I have grown up with. Please let me know if you resonate, right? I grew up with this idea that some of the, like, the people that have this strategy for life that says, live strong, die young energy, adrenaline junkies, or people that throw themselves into addiction and so on, that this is a very unhealthy lifestyle and this is bad. Yes, it is bad if you want to live a long life, if you want to live a patriarchal life, it's bad. If you want to live a structured life, yeah, it's bad, definitely. But what if you are this? Then you have to live it, right? It's in your DNA, it's in your blood, everything in you screams for a life like that. I'm not saying I'm going to throw myself into addiction, I'm going to throw myself off the deep end, but I will learn about this. I will choose to, because what if it's fun, right? What if I can free myself in there? What if I can finally feel that I can be happy here. I can be free. I can laugh out loud. I can be too much in here, right? But I would love it, right? Perhaps. Maybe I would love it being too much, too rigid, provocative, and so on. Where I grew up, this was not allowed. Definitely not. And I was never, ever, ever given a possibility, an option to choose this school. I feel like I have to go down this route. I have to examine this. In my life, I want to be brave, but I want to do it still in a self-caring way. I want to pursue whatever I may have been in another life. I want to know, right? So maybe we need to let go of something that potentially is holding us back here, something that is the last final straw, perhaps, maybe a big one, maybe the last one, to finally say, I'm done, right? It is a full moon out there, but you're actually thinking in full moon terms in your brain here. You're deciding, this is an eclipse, I cut this off, I'm no longer interested in this feeling of victimization, this prey feeling that I'm not good, I can't do this, I don't have the skills, I'm not powerful. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. But this is a journey, and depending on where you are on your journey, maybe you're not ready for this, right? There is a possibility the full moon is working with you to complete something, to say goodbye, simply. No bad feelings, no people please, no need to be of service for something else. You can complete this. But again, it depends on your journey, where you are at your journey. And this is again where you see how Earth never gives up on us, right? Next year, around the same time, you will have another full moon in Pisces, and maybe then you will be ready, right? Maybe then you can cut this off. But now, the message right now is let go of what pains you or where you feel inadequate, right? Let go of that. Love yourself as you are. You are beautiful, vibrant, capable soul. But you may have been in the wrong realm, right? You may have been in the wrong world, you know? I definitely was in the wrong world. I can maybe still not quite position myself where exactly, because again, it's like this school. There's a school that I wasn't never allowed to go that route, you know. And it has kept me stuck for a very long time. And I think scapegoats, they are in this predicament for a very long time because they actually gave up some of their willpower, which makes them feel like a victim. But you are very powerful. You can regain this. I am slowly but surely regaining this. But it's a choice, right? I don't know what this full moon is wanting and what it pokes at for you, what is highlighting for you. But loss and lack is terrible, and it's a very low vibrational feeling. You need to let it go to, you see, like to shine like this, to have full soul radiance. To put loss and lack upon you will dim that. It will dim it, and you become actually more loyal to the loss and lack, to the fear, the danger, or the grief that I felt, a grief where I was the reason for the loss. That's probably one of the big ones, right? If you put something like that upon yourself, not only have you lost someone you loved, but you are the reason for it. You see the guilt tripping here. Like, I have been guilt tripping myself with a grief. I don't even know what it's about. It's probably inherited. I have still no clue exactly. I haven't found it yet. But you see how if I put something like that upon myself, there will never ever be place for laughter and play and fun and freedom. It encapsulates me. It imprisons me. Do you get my point of that? And there is an opportunity to work with this energy towards completion, to let it be completed, to finally say, I'm done with this. I don't owe anyone anything. It's maybe not even mine. It's maybe from a different lifetime. It could be my ancestral inheritance. It could be the feeling of like a curse that has been passed down all feminines, that all feminines live with this helmet of guilt or blame or fear or shame or something. I believe many feminines do, actually. Especially if you have been growing up in Western society. Because we learn what is favored. We learn what society wants. To adhere to this, we give something up. To follow this plan, we give something up. So those who are actually rigid and those who are actually living a life like this, live strong, die young, adrenaline people, they are actually brave, quite brave, because they go against society, right? They go against the patriarchal rule setting. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's one vibe that has a very particular way of thinking. It needs control. It needs to be successful. It needs to be in charge. It's one of the main and very important structures of and leadership structures of masculine energy. So of course feminine energy cannot be equally as powerful, because then they cannot be in charge, there cannot be a hierarchy, there cannot be success and fame and status if something is equally as powerful and equally as authentic. I believe feminine energy right now is not authentic. It's coming. I've said in Scorpio readings for a long time, maybe 3-4 years back, I've said that there's a storm coming. There's a storm coming. This is the storm. The awakening of the feminine energy, that it's trying to build itself into authenticity, stand strong, unattached to outside influence. This is what's coming. This is the storm that's coming. It's already here. I always say this wrong. The lesbian, gay, queer, trans community, you know what I mean? I always say this wrong, I don't know why. But this community is exactly what this is about. This idea that some people identify as having more than one pronoun, this is exactly this. The 4B movement in Korea, where women don't want to marry and they don't want to associate with men. This movement this is it. There is a storm coming. I've said it a long time ago. At that time, I couldn't pinpoint it exactly. I see it now. This is it. The change that there's a rise in feminine energy, and it comes from a very, very deep-seated place. And it has been repressed for a long, long, long time. It's so embedded in our brains that we even consider this bad. Though Earth does this all the time with the seasons. Earth is our home. We share DNA with everything here. We are all one, actually, to a certain extent. But that's not how we see ourselves, is it? The programming in our brain, the way we think, is dissociated. Feminines are very dissociated in their power. It's coming. We see the OnlyFans movement of women expressing their sexuality, earning money on this, is also just another kind. It's just another, the shaming of the women because of this is not working anymore, is it? The freeing of feminine sexuality is not really working anymore to shame it. Like the control that has been put on this, it's like an eruption. It's about to erupt. It's erupting already. Will you be against this, or will you be with it? Right? I also feel the completion here can talk about that this is done. The feminine energy does no longer accept being haunted, does no longer accept the losses that they have endured. The killing of druid tribes, the killing and druids are some of the most peaceful people in the world, right? The killing of witches. It's interesting with witches because witches do not necessarily attack the other system, not unless you threaten them. When you threaten them, then they mobilize. But if you leave them alone, they just do their thing. They are not necessarily that is the whole point of it. And now I'm saying it probably wrongly again, but the LGBTQ society is one of the most understanding societies you can ever have. There is so much tolerance here. All of them has been scapegoated, has been rejected. All of them has been inside this community. You will have such tolerance for each other and for each other's choices. People that have more than one pronoun, when they associate with others who identify with having more than one pronoun, there is such tolerance and acceptance. There is such, and this is exactly how Earth is, how vegetation grows. Everything is welcome. Nothing is wrong. Everything is welcome. Everything is given a place. Everything is, in nature we have survival of the fittest, yes, but the change of how Earth has been evolving through millennia, it has risen again and again and again, shown us, everybody living here, how powerful it is. How tough it is. How can vegetation survive ice ages, right? It can. It's tough, right? It's resilient, right? There is a resilience. And this is not, and there is a resilience in all of us, somewhere in us. No matter how much of an helmet you have put upon yourself, there is a resilience to somehow deal with it. Live through hell, right? And build this stamina to go against the stream. Or I feel like I'm talking to people that feel like scapegoats. But the point is that you are only scapegoats in a certain environment. There are other environments where you will not be the scapegoat. You will be the hero. You will be regarded as the brave one. You will be regarded as the one that broke out, that escaped, that fled, that survived, that, it's all about the environment. If you're in the wrong environment, you will be poked at, judged, and so on. But if you are not in that environment, that you enter the other school, you will probably thrive in here and feel so free of all the judgment and criticism and so on. It's all about the environment. That's why your opposite exists. Like when you go out in the world and you feel very drawn, attracted to some other person, and they probably have a way of being that for the scapegoat, they would be very free and very expressive and very glowing, right? That's why you get attracted to them, because they are your opposite. But if you had to push something down because it was bad, how come they are not bad? How come they are not wrong? Because they may have grown up with hippie parents, who allowed everything, where there were no rules, where there were no religion, So they have learned that this is the favorite style, this is the favorite way of being. There are no limits to my being. I can become everything. I can become, just be aware of narcissists, of course. There are the real ones, and then there are the not real ones, the fake selves, right? Be aware of the narcissists that glow out there, right? To awaken your true glow, this is the doorway to it. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying if you have a helmet like I had, that was so big that it took away any kind of sunlight, any kind of happiness in your life, because this was the best way to survive, this is the one you have to deal with. This helmet of yours, this big thing that potentially once was a protector, is now your worst enemy. Or it is the one that you have to work your way through. It's the one that is in the way of your freeing, your happiness, and so on. Sometimes it can be enough just to identify it, as I just have done. That I call it a helmet that is around you. Now you know you have a helmet, perhaps, right? The helmet acted as a protector as a child. But keep living it is the reason why you're unhappy inside. So you need to let some of this go to feel more free, more happy, maybe more peaceful, more calm, I don't know, but whatever it is for you. And one of the ways of doing this is to love who you are. Love everything about you. Everything. Love the side. Try to connect with the side that you annihilated or that you are repressing. Try to connect with it and love it. Love every side of it. Love everything about it. Let it be known that you have changed your mind. That now you are actually wanting to help. Now you are aligning yourself with the one inside that has been very repressed and is now getting your attention. Be the one who wasn't there when you were a child, right? Be your best friend. Be the best friend that you have wanted when you were a child. The one who never saw you. The one who didn't allow you to have fun, right? Be the encourager, the one that can do this. Allow yourself to witness what you're feeling and then send it a lot of love here. That is the way you complete. That is the way you take the helmet off, you could say. And this is not done just during these 3 nights or 3 days of this full moon. It can be a lifelong journey for some people. But sometimes it just helps that you have identified it, that you can see it. And you see what you are actually dealing with and why you put this on you. Like, the worse this is, the more glow you actually have. The more power you have. The tougher this is, the more powerful you are. Do you understand? Like, if you have a big light, you need something big to cover it. You see? You need something very big to cover it, otherwise it would shine through, right? It would be seen. You wouldn't be able to hold it back. You need something to be so oppressive that it kind of stuns you, or like a poisonous, like a poison, right? It needs to be that poisonous to keep you from not moving. Otherwise it would move. You see? You need to take the helmet off, the poisonous helmet off that has paralyzed you. to be able to start moving again. Slowly but surely. Do you get my point of that? I hope you understand. And there is a possibility to kind of just be done with this, right? Be done with this and embrace me. Go with me, the moon says, right? The moon is the feminine darkness, right? Go along with me. Yeah, maybe you could lose something. Maybe you could end up in lack, you know. If I get addicted to something, I could end up in lack. Yeah, but are you happy where you are? If you're happy where you are, this reading is not for you. This is for someone who is dealing with what I call the helmet. A helmet that is surrounding your every being, your brain. And because it is so powerfully controlling you and your every move, you cannot be happy. Your true glow here cannot shine through. Your playfulness, your joy, your free spirit cannot shine through. I think this is a balancing act. It will a bit back and forth and back and forth. You can try to do some of this and then you get scared, right? Or it becomes too much. You withdraw from it maybe. Or you realize if I throw myself head over heels into this, I could lose. I could lose my job. I could lose my friend group. I could lose my family. I could lose my marriage. I could lose my children. Like the loyalty and devotion of my everything, everybody around me. If I pursue this, I could lose everything. I could lose my security. I could lose safety. Yeah, you could do that. But you will probably also gain something. That's the whole point of it. Let's have the bottom of the deck for this one. So what has been leading up to this? It says idyllic times, yeah? Idyllic times are more fun times, right? More graceful, more calm, more tranquil, more fun, more exciting times. Idyllic times has been leading the garden, the paradise, this is where you feel amazing. In the garden, the paradise, the idyllic times, this is where you feel amazing. And if you have to go towards this, you need to let go of something else. You need to let go of duties, perhaps. You need to let go of obligations. No, not obligations. You need to responsibilities, perhaps. You need to let go of, needing to be someone else's savior. That if I'm not around, they will probably do something bad, right? Or if I don't deal with this, they will not cope, or they will not be all right if I'm not doing this. If I don't stay by their side, they probably commit suicide. You know, being in such ties are very unhealthy. To have your idyllic times, you need to prioritize your idyllic times. This is a bottom of the deck card. This is what I call past experience. It's like you've had a taste of this. You've had a little glimpse of this. And because you've had a little glimpse of this, it's seductive. You want to go there. You want more idyllic times. You want more fun. You want more freedom. You want more free breath. You want more calm, or you want more quietness or tranquil. Because you have been given just a little bit of glimpse of this in the past. This is the past leading to this. Something here has led you to now let go of everything that potentially is holding you from going here. So you could be in some deep emotions about this, but if I go towards this, the idyllic times, as I said, this can be addictive, it can be seductive. What if there's no secure ground here? I throw myself off the cliff, right? I become an adrenaline junkie. What if I do this, right? What could I potentially lose by that? I lose my routine, I lose my job, I lose my income, I lose my security, I lose my friends, I lose, some of it is worth losing perhaps for having a little more fun. Or a little more quiet, or a little more peace, a little more restoration, a little more love. Or for feeling loved, right? Maybe the idyllic time is the garden, the paradise. Your paradise is maybe joining a different realm, joining a different school, joining a different society group. But it means that you check out of one to join another one. Do you get my point? Maybe it's time to say goodbye to one club and join another one. To learn from another one, to learn what are the worldviews of this other club. What are the worldviews of these people? What are they moved by? What energizes them? What does freedom feel like for them, right? What is abundance for them? Where there is one school that teaches us one kind of abundance through plan and structure, and then there could be another one that teaches us something else. And I feel like whomever I'm reading for could potentially be standing and looking at these two, you could say, very different dynamics, where if I want to join this, I need to say goodbye, potentially lose something else here. Maybe you don't have to give up everything, right? But there's something that you are asked to complete here. You are invited into a realm. The full moon is here with the power that it takes, the eclipse possibility, to help you not feel bad about a choice, perhaps. Not feel bad about a choice. Invite you to be brave to do this choice, to make this choice, to have this priority over something else, with the possibility of, yeah, but I could lose those people. I could lose their loyalty or their love or their. But if they truly love you, right? If they truly love you, they would want you to find your best time. They would encourage you to go towards your best feeling. They would encourage you to feel happy if they truly loved you. They would encourage you to feel happy and free. So maybe they're not worth it, right? Maybe it's time to complete everything that entraps you, everything that is low vibrational, everything that wants to take your glow from you, your happiness, your joy, your feeling of freedom, and the ability to be who you are. Everybody who tries to shame you or guilt trip you or something, maybe it's time to complete that, even though it may feel like a loss or a lack, even though it may feel like you are disappointing them or displeasing them or something like that, and potentially you can lose their support or help, which I don't think it is at all. And you would be amazed that when you switch clubs, you would be amazed by the support you will find here. You would be amazed by the understanding and tolerance there is here. That's what I feel like this is. It's like a timeline jump, jumping into, it's like I am canceling my subscription to this membership, this club membership. And I fear that when I do that, I could potentially lose something vital in my life. That potentially I'm disappointing people or displeasing people. Maybe they cut me off or something like that. But what if you gain this instead? Like, what if you can gain this instead? On the other side here, we have friendships, right? Support, fun, unity, play, exactly what I talk about. This is on the other side of this. But it means that maybe you need to tell people, I'm gay, right? And I'm joining this gay community now. I am, or as I'm trying to do, I'm feminine. I'm joining the feminine community now, right? Because in that realm, I will find someone like me. I will find friendship and unity here. This will feel right to me. This is what I have been missing. That's why I have been miserable in my life and felt incapable and everything, right? It's about owning who you are. I've talked about the core a lot in my readings several months back. The core has been, who are you at your core, right? Because what you are at your core has nothing to do with, again, I just told you we have DNA from trees, from plants, and everything out there. We have the DNA you have for your sexuality. It is not predetermined to be either a masculine or feminine. It could be either or. It could be both. It could be intertwined. It could be even. I believe there is another one we could add to this mix. It has to do with a sexuality that has a breeding season. So it's sexually active, but only for a certain month. And then it's actually more or less asexual from that point and forward moving until the season comes again. I think that is another one that has not been mentioned, I guess, so much. It's another one. I think you can add that to the mix also. It goes hand in hand with breeding seasons with animals, right? But we, to a certain point, also are still an animal. We, to a certain point, are still, there is still a part of us that comes from different DNA mix. And to lie to ourselves about that, to lie to ourselves about this will just make us unhappy. The helmet I talked about could be one big fat lie that you had to create for yourself to protect yourself at a certain point. But what if this is not real? What if it's fantasy? What if it was just a protective mechanism that had to be made to like cover your glow? It had to be big enough. Maybe you were told this, but maybe it was just one big fat lie to keep you from moving, to keep you from being free and happy, a free spirit, a free soul. You know, it was maybe designed to protect you, but it actually had, and probably maybe it did to a certain extent as a child, but now you should be able to move freely, right? You should be able to allow more things to be there for you. This is what I feel like. Like if you join this other club, if you accept this about yourself, if you exude self-love, you will find these friendships. You will find other people like you. If you resonate with this, what I'm talking about, you are probably like me. We could be friends, right? Because we have probably gone through some of the same shit. But we have probably gone through some of the same feelings. We've gone through some of the same pain and hurt. To let my helmet go, or to challenge my helmet, it has taken a lot of both time and, I want to say bravery, daring to do this, step by step. To allow myself to feel more free. Free to move, free to make my own decisions, not necessary to always follow the linear thinking, to accept death and what death is all about. Physicists say that there is no such thing as energy dying. It just changes into something else. There is no such thing as me dying. I will just change into something else. So there is no death per se. There's a change. We go through change even if you follow the linear thinking of masculinity and patriarchy, or patriarchal thinking. There's change all along. Our body changes, we are children, we become adults, our body changes. We go through changes of life. I am currently in this somewhat menopause phase. My body goes through a change. I cannot stop it, it's natural. I don't want to stop it. It's a natural thing. Because in the other school, which we are not given, but in the other school, this is natural. It's necessary and natural. There's nothing bad about it. My body is changing shape and it's molding itself into something else. It's natural force. It's a natural process. It has always been a natural process. But this school we are not given. There's no allowing for this in society. It's like when you become a woman in menopause, you are not quite as attractive, right? You lose the fitness style, you lose you get a different expression, and it is not as attractive to men as young women are, right? It's not as attractive. But it's just because this one school that we have all attended is telling us so. Another school will tell you that this is normal. It's normal, it's expected. Maybe it's even honored. You know? But there is no such school. Maybe I should make one. I don't know. What do you think? Right? There is no such school. Okay, this is what I have for this full moon, right? I hope this helped somehow. Especially if you go through some very, very difficult and very low vibrational and very tough feelings here. I want to say that it's for a reason, right? It's for a reason. It's to find your tribe, right? It's to find those that are with you and not against you, and or only with you conditionally. What if you could find people here that would unconditionally love you, tolerate you? They would encourage you, support you, like everything about you, like your endeavors, like your daring, like your sacrifices. Because they would understand, they would get you, right? I hope this helped. As always, take care of yourself out there. I send you my very best love and light from a feminine realm, trying to attempt to figure this out and hoping that it somehow will just help you to hear what I have to say. Yeah, that's what I just want to share with you, right? Take care of yourself, everybody. Love and light to all of you. Bye bye.